Hello and welcome to Distributed Systems and Blockchain in the News. My name is Thomas Bocek, and this week in the news we have an update on FQX. And there is a report on CoinDesk in the following article here that they have massive shortfalls in assets. This is the statement from the bankruptcy layer, this guy here. And they came to the preliminary conclusion, it's everything preliminary, they're still investigating, that they found 2.2 billion assets, from which roughly 700 million are considered liquid, and they have a total liability, money that they borrowed, for example, to Alameda Research, 9.3 billion. So there is a massive shortfall. And also a quick update on Binance. Binance, currently one of the largest crypto exchanges. FTX was also a huge crypto exchange before it collapsed. Binance is currently also under investigation. It's the following link here. It's behind the paywall, so that's why you need to go through archive. And they are now investigating the relationship of Binance and Binance US, especially the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. And I found two interesting statements. So one statement was strategy centered on building a bare bones American platform, Binance US, that would license Binance technology and brand out otherwise appear to be wholly independent of Binance US. So there are two companies, Binance and Binance US, that should be independent. However, later they mentioned then, but Binance and Binance US have been much more intertwined than the companies have disclosed, mixing staff and finances and sharing an affiliated entity that bought and sold cryptocurrencies, according to the interviews and the messages and documents reviewed by the journal. The next topic is a tweet. I also mentioned some other mistakes that happened with cloud providers. This time it's a mistake with Google with BigQuery, and it's the following tweet here. So this BigQuery costs around $300 US. Obviously he did a mistake and he joined almost 60 million rows, or the result was almost 60 million rows. He joined a table with lots of data, and in the end he got charged over $300 US. That is a reminder that if you have infinite resources and you use them, you have to pay for it. The next article is about Quad9. Quad9 is a DNS resolver, and we can, with the command line utility dig or dog, we can actually query for this domain, and we can do this using the Quad9 resolver. Returns the same thing, just we ask now Quad9 to resolve this address and not the DNS that my ISP is giving to me. So they are under attack, and there is an article from Quad9. It's the following article here. Sony is trying to block an IP address. They are suspecting copyright infringement, and they now enforce this via law, via German law. Interestingly, Quad9 is a Swiss foundation. They're based here in Switzerland, yet this German court, they said Quad 9 needs to block this IP address. Sony didn't go after the site directly that does the copyright infringement, but goes after the DNS resolver. Here we have some interesting Q&As. They're actually, their offices are co-located with Switch in Zurich, and they're a foundation. And also interestingly, Sony went for this Quad 9, this rather small provider, that they focus on privacy. In their mission statement, they say that they actually block malicious host names. They have a list of malicious IP addresses, so they block that, but they're also privacy friendly. When looking at the registration here at Zafix, here it says what's the purpose of this company, and it's about security and stability. They're non-commercial, and they are advocacy of privacy, so they're trying to enforce privacy as much as possible, yet they're being forced by Sony to block a specific IP. They said in this statement that they don't accept, or they want to go to the next instance for the court and try to overrule it. The last interesting link I found in this week is the following here. It's about self-host all the things with a question mark, and they list some alternatives of known services. So the first service here is Google Analytics, and they came up with a list. So the Just Right, it's a self-hosting application that you can use that has more or less the same features. They say too hot, it's too new; too cold, it's not relevant or not that relevant. And so here it's plausible. I've never used it, but this is something for those who need Google Analytics and want to self-host. This is a software that you might use. Also for email newsletter, there is MailChimp, of course, but this is a service, and if you want to go self-hosted, there are a couple of alternatives. Just Right is ListMonk, for example, and Zapier, it's a business automation tool, and the application, a self-hosted application that you can run, for example, is Active Pieces. And for Calendar or Calendly, which where you can book appointments, currently there is no recommendation that is good enough. There is just cal.com, which seems to be promising, but it's not in the category Just Right. So very interesting list. I have not used any of those, although I'm self-hosting also a lot. And during researching this article, I found a very nice quote about self-hosting. And the quote is, "Self-hosting is fun as long as your user count is 1. When it grows beyond that, you suddenly have an SLA." That's true. So I only self-host what I'm also currently using myself. As soon as you have other users, then you have to take care. If it's offline, you need to fix it. And if you just have one user, it's still fun.